Hi everyone, how are you? I want you to dream a very practical dream with me. It's about the happiness challenge that we're going to be doing this January 8th to January 22nd. And here's the dream that's well within your reach. What if 8 days from now, you were walking through this world calibrated slightly differently in such a way so that when you walked into regular situations, you had a lightness of heart. You had a lightness of heart that would enable you to creative problem solve, that would enable you to laugh more easily and more deeply, even in somber situations. And what if, maybe there's a lot of your life that's the same, but because you're showing up differently, and because you're inviting the field to work with you in a dynamic way, then you set it up so that you need to have this difficult conversation and this very seamless window opens and you find yourself launching into that difficult conversation that you knew you needed to have, and it went far more beautifully than you ever thought it could. That's what's it like to live as a consciousness athlete. That's what it's like to live when your body is working in the state of happiness, the signature of happiness, and you have this great commerce with the field, okay? It's this idea that you are walking through this world and you're sharing your burdens with the field, and you're not shouldering everything yourself, so your heart is lighter, your forehead is smoother, and overall, you're more calm as you walk through the world. Now, let me just tell you how practical this is. Years ago, when we started Peace Projects, we used to do it for 1 month. And it was really interesting because as you watch people for 1 month do this every day, go into their mat to move their body into the state of consciousness of happiness, to learn how to work with the field more coherently. And what would happen is by the end of the month, you could see it. Like people almost got like more high. It's like people were getting more high all month long. I kid you not. And at the end, people's hearts were so open compared to where they used to be that by the end of the month, people are opening up new projects. They're doing those things that they always knew they should do, but they never had before. They're making different phone calls. And the creativity would just explode by the end of the month. Now, when we brought it down to the 8 days, I wasn't quite sure if we were going to get the same result, but we did. And it was so profound and so big that I asked Dr. Karina Reinhold, who is a professor of mathematics and statistics at the State University of New York at Albany. And I said, how can we document this? How can we document that people become infinitely more happier just by doing this work for amount of time, for several days, right? So it's this idea of just grooming the nervous system. It's kind of like tuning an instrument. Like if you were to play a guitar and it's not tuned, the music would be horrible, right? But if you are tuned, if you're the instrument and you're tuned, then that stuff can happen around you because it always does. But if we're learning how to use all of our challenges as a way to tune our nervous system, to calibrate with the field more appropriately, then that's when the magic happens, okay? That's when we're moving towards greater calibration. And so what we're doing is we're inviting you to take the happiness challenge, which means that you would take the quiz that I'm going to put in the comments, and you take the quiz now, and then sign up at consciousnessathletes.com to receive the daily meditations from January 8th to 22nd. Every day, set a time, 20 minutes, right? Noticing how different you feel in the beginning and in the end. And then by the end of the week, we will send you a follow-up survey and we'll see if your indicators have moved, okay? So understand that if you're going to ever feel happiness, like this is the space in your body you need to get to. Like this is what happiness really is. Years ago, I remember feeling well-being for the first time, and I thought, oh my gosh, this must be what people talk about as well-being, right? So many people, sadly, have never been there. And yet our protocol is designed to help you move your nervous system into that direction, and we measure the changes in just 8 days. So please take the happiness challenge, go to consciousnessathletes.com, look for the button, and then make sure you're signed up to get the meditations every day for 8 days. And don't take my word for any of this. You do your own research, be your own scientist, and decide whether or not your mood has improved in 8 days. Now, this is just the first week of a 52-week program that I've committed to. Because every day I want to set it up where I'm sending out meditations like this. Because by the end of the year, your nervous system will be in such a different place, you will be amazed. Because you're grooming yourself like an athlete. That's why I call it consciousness athletes. It's just the way an athlete conditions the body. We're going to be conditioning your nervous system and conditioning your heart to be able to hold these more buoyant states of consciousness. Now, I have another reason for this. If you haven't noticed, have you noticed the news lately? Have you noticed it's a little depressing? Have you noticed there's all sorts of stuff that could really take us down big time? Absolutely. That's part of the reason why I made a year-long commitment to this project. And in that process, in that 20-minute thing, we are going to not only be sending blessings to our own life, but literally kind of like giving a Reiki treatment to the field of the Earth's energy field, okay? Understand that you are that powerful, and this work is that real, right? So Reiki and healing is so powerful that, basically health practitioners can get continuing education credits for learning such things, okay? Your mind is that powerful that wherever it lands, it has an impact. So we can spend a year just bathing this planet in light, asking for the highest and best for all concerned, and just opening our hearts to each other, to the planet, and just inviting that all of this creative problem solving, we'll call it, creative problem solving that's coming up is really able to find its way and move into very organic places where the highest and best is held for everyone involved, okay? So that's 1 year. Imagine 1 year how you'll feel. If you have this much of a change in 8 days, imagine if you committed to the year. So just again, go to consciousnessathletes.com, put your name in, take the happiness challenge. You take the survey in the beginning of the 8 days. So it will be available for the next 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday, the meditation's coming out for 8 days. And then Saturday afternoon, we'll come out with the other survey, and we'll have you take the closing survey to measure if there's been a change in your happiness in only 8 days. And if you're like the up to 84% of people who say yes, then you will find that that is just the beginning, because happiness is infinite. Love is infinite. Bliss and joy and beautiful feelings are infinite. We have to develop the capacity to hold them. Okay, understand that that's the challenge. It's not that they're not available in infinite resources. It's that we don't have the capacity to hold the space of them, okay? And that's why we train like an athlete. So consciousnessathletes.com, take the happiness challenge. Please share this with as many people you know. And if you're having a real hard time in life, make this commitment to you. Show up for you. You are worthy of your own attention. And you will find this will pay off. So thank you so much for your time. Please share. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. Whoops.